Here. Okay. Wait for Carol. Gonna. You can sit wherever you want, Carolyn. All right. Thank you. Good. Welcome. It's noon. We're really excited to the 2019 ALICE report. And before I dive into that, I just want to say a thank you to supporters here that have joined work with our local United Ways. We have 52 local United Ways across the state of Michigan at the ground level doing this work. And I want to say a special thank you. We've got leadership from all those United Ways, for taking the time. We do this work without you, so thank you. I also want to recognize that we have representatives from our 211 region centers here today. We do, especially for the ALICE population. So thank you for taking time to be here. I want to encourage the media that are here today. Know who they are, we will connect you. But this is a great opportunity for you to hear what's happening at the ground level to support those individuals and families in the ALICE population. I also would like to thank the members of the Michigan who have supported this initiative. I also want to say a special thank you. She's not able to be here today, but Governor Whitmer, while unable to attend, has been a tremendous support of the ALICE report. And you'll find a quote from her in our press release. Special thanks to our legislators that are represented here today. So we have Senator Paul and Representative Chris Gregg here today that are going to share some words. Appreciate bipartisan support of the Michigan ALICE report. They are key in the work that we're doing and are huge advocates for what ALICE is in our community. As many as you know, ALICE stands for Assets Constrained Employed. And we want to make sure that the opportunity to put a real focus around the data we pull together around this. ALICE is the person who works to make a living but can't seem to make ends meet. ALICE has an income above the poverty level but struggles to afford just the basic household needs. In the 5 years since the Michigan Association of United Ways released its first ALICE report, we have started to get a clear picture of our neighbors, loved ones, friends, and our community. Unfortunately, as the 2019 Michigan ALICE report shows, there is much more to do. Low wages, reduced work hours, and depleted savings with increasing need for an uneven economic recovery in Michigan. Just some specific highlights from the report that I wanted to share. In 2017, over 1.6 million Michigan households, that's 43% of our households in Michigan, could not afford basic needs. 43%. That includes things like housing, child care, food, transportation, health care, technology, the basic needs it takes for a family to survive. The total number of Michigan households that can afford basic needs increased 6% from 2010 to 2017. Of Michigan's 3.9 million households, 14% live in poverty level or below. 29% were adults. You take those two percentages, 43% of our population in Michigan struggle to make ends meet each and every day. Despite overall improvements in employment and gains in median income, the economic recovery in Michigan has been uneven. For the many households that earn slightly above the college threshold, increase in the cost of living flat wages has put them below the threshold in hardship. The cost of the average budget increased by 27% from 2010 to 2017. Despite the low rate of inflation nationwide, which was 12% from 2010 to 2017. Low-wage jobs dominate the employment landscape, with 61% of all jobs in Michigan paying less than $20 an hour. Those are just a handful of top-line findings. As you can see, there's a lot of work to do to serve those in need. To talk about that work, I'm going to introduce Senator Kurt Vanderwall. Kurt.
It's an issue that affects the state, our working families, working, but there's been something that really helped me along the way. That Russ tremendous the United Way in Mason County. Yeah. Plus, he's nurtured me along the way of a business owner to donate to United Way, to jump on a board that we've raised up over $300 grand now. Yeah. But I will tell you, ask to the community doesn't enough. This lady. And I'll go into I like to find some. What actually, it's people like you that are the face in the counties you represent, the communities that you serve, the people you touch on every day. Into an unbelievable stories of what's happened in my short time in Lansing. But you know, we go into communities and we see the people that are affected. We see the families that are struggling, the families that are making choices to put kids in situations that none of us want our children to be in. And here we have a program that we need to continue to work on and to continue to grow. So as I go into this, I got my glasses because over my years, 20 years ago, I didn't need them, but I do now. But just to make sure that I hit my talking points that I want to. You know, it is a great honor for me to be here today and to speak to every one of you about house and how important it is. We all know being part of house makes life difficult. And I don't think that we remember that enough, that being part of that is very difficult. Being part of that population and to raise a family presents even greater challenges as we struggle through. These heads of households, us working up hours to make enough money to feed their house, their family, while also paying for someone to take care of their children while they work. This is really a monumental struggle, and it's a challenge we have every day. There's a great need for accessibility and proper child for all those that work hard. just to make ends meet. As today's report indicates, at least expensive licensed child care available for an infant preschooler is about $13,500. I love to round up, so just understand that, but it's very close to that. It is a struggle for families. There are 185,000 children in need of child care. Less than 50% of those licensed spots can be filled, so about 86,000. There's even more critical issue for families in rural Michigan where there are fewer options, and that's part of the district that Lynn and I have one city in Mason County. You get miles of the town, the population drops up dramatically, and there's very little options out there. These disparities can continue. Work hard to secure funding for childhood education and programming. And that's something that Lynn and I bring up because we've had a lot of discussions, but that is part of that we need to put dollars in early child care. That's the most important education we have in our state. We can't be short-sighted. We know that these are challenges and we can't settle for status quo. We need to work hard to make sure that we increase funding, to make sure these families are taken care of and that we're that child, along with the parent. We must remove child care barriers. We need to ensure access to increase care providers and payment affordability by raising the subsidy cap to include families. I will work to help to ensure that those who are housed population can be afford child care, and someday they can move out into the normal population. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I commend each and every one of you for what you do. It is an honor to represent the state of Michigan and the communities that I serve. And again, thank you very much for this opportunity and for what you do. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Senator. Well, your United Story. I'm Kristen Gregg. I serve as the House Democratic leader, and I wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about some other policies that we need to look at to make sure that we are supporting our families that fall under ALECs and really lift up all families in Michigan. For me personally, when I was in college was when I had an opportunity through, it was actually a scholarship program with the local county health department in the Women, Infants, and Children's program, and actually got to go out and work with families that were trying to raise their young kids on very limited dollars. That was a real eye-opener for me at the age of 21. And then I worked in Chicago for a while. That was my first introduction to United Way, where we raised funds to help. But it wasn't until I came to the legislature and really worked with United Way East Michigan and saw the program, saw the data that was behind where the resources should go, that I became an instant fan of the United Way's work. So I thank you for everything that you're doing. It's so important. All the partners go into this work. And this report is an incredibly valuable tool that can help inform these important policy conversations that we absolutely need to have if we're to move this state forward for everyone. And it shows us in compelling detail the challenges that Michigan families are facing. You know, facing it, just trying to get by, to have some financial stability for their families. It demonstrates that we have serious systemic issues and challenges to address if we are to ensure that every family who's working hard and playing by the rules can sustain that good quality life here in Michigan. So the basic cost, I want to go over a few of the details of the report. The basic cost of a household expense, it's increased by 27% between 2010 and 2017. And that's for a family of 4. And it's increased 26% for a single adult, despite a low rate of inflation nationwide, 12% from 10 to 17. So over 60% of jobs in Michigan pay less than $20 an hour. Yet the wages needed to support the Alice household budget $3.60 family of 4. Let me just review that again. So 60% of Michigan paid less, $20 an hour, but yet the ALICE threshold is $30.64 for a family of 4. We should really, so statistics get trotted out, to celebrate the comeback that we hear so much about. Things like the number of jobs or low unemployment, they don't really speak to the facts that families are facing and that families are still struggling in this economy. Because, it's not about the number of jobs, it's about the quality of the paycheck. And that, because of stagnating wages, the percent of Michigan families who can't afford their most basic needs, healthcare, food, increased by 6% since 2010. And that's why we continue to be educated, level the playing field, and put working families back in the driver's seat of the economy. We have to think about families and people first and getting them to work. They drive the economy. They create the jobs. So things like restoring the earned income tax credit to its pre-2011 level, programming families, fighting the original version, than 400,000 Anders signed on to last year's ballot initiative that bring up the hourly wage to $12 an hour by 2022, which has now been back to $12 an hour. How does that help families that tried $30 an hour just survive? So I am proud, though, how Healthy Michigan to ensure access to health care for nearly 700,000 Michiganders, nearly all of whom are in ALICE households. But we need to protect their access to care by repealing recently enacted requirements. It's harder to keep that, because studies have shown that greater barriers to health and employment is a problem. We've got to remove barriers and not put if we want the stability for our working families here in Michigan. I believe government protects citizens, especially the most vulnerable among us. Population continues to age, like myself, and boomers in particular, continue toward retirement. It's critical that we're providing the support they need to live with worry or fear. And it's crazy that someone who worked hard their entire life is able to afford the prescriptions they need to keep a roof over their heads. And one of the most important things we can do in the legislature is to repeal pension retirement tax. And I know colleagues on sides of the aisle are working hard to make that happen. For those already living on a fixed income, that tax, and we have to make it right. So if there's one takeaway for today, that more does need to be done. Policymakers from both sides of the aisle need to come together, but people at the center of those policy decisions to really move this state forward. So, as we heard already, 43% of families struggle to make ends meet, demonstrates the need for real policy change. We need to ensure labor policies are setting families up for success and not be stable to make progress. Step. That's where our policy needs to be. We're working on the House, my House Democratic colleagues, different legislation that we're working with our colleagues across the aisle to make sure that we are moving our families forward. So again, I thank you for inviting me to come and speak today. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And remember those working families when we develop policy initiatives. Thank you very much.
Special thank you to Dean and Kurt. I know that you guys all have busy schedules today. Your voices are very important, and not just here, but the work that you're doing at the state level. So thank you for your Um, the report is first. What I find interesting is each of the numbers represent an individual or family. Every individual and family has their own story. And today we're fortunate to have Hope Cumbie here from Beaverton. I know Hope's a little nervous, and but you know, I really appreciate you taking time to share your story. Because of them have a story, and that's what it's about. It's about numbers, it's about real people, and I'm really grateful for Hope being here. It's funny because I met her back and I met her son in the restroom. So Charlie, how old are you? 4. Okay. So I'm in the restroom. Charlie just walks up. Help me here. I'm like, okay. Would you wash your hands? And comes out and introduces himself to my hand. I was so impressed. So impressed. Thank you for coming, Charlie. But I'm gonna come and share her story.
Hi, like you said, my name is Hope Cumbie. I would like to thank the Michigan Association of United Ways for giving me the opportunity to share my story and for respecting hardworking families like mine. I am a stay-at-home mom. My son, Charlie, is 4 years old. Sean, my husband, is a self-employed truck driver. He works long hours and makes it home about 4 days a month. It's my responsibility to make sure that we have enough savings to cover next month's bills. As an owner-operator, every week we must cover truck expenses, which are over $1,000, or fuel. We pay this whether my husband is driving or not. A month after my son was born, we had to go to South Carolina to lay my father-in-law to rest. It took almost 6 weeks to get everything taken care of, while the truck stayed still in Michigan. When we finally got home, we had for about $6,000 in truck expenses without having a check come in. I knew 3 weeks before we would be caught up. So for the next 3 weeks, if we could live without it, we did. Unfortunately, this also included a $400 inhaler. Charlie needed diapers and formula, and his needs would always come first. During this time, Charlie needed his first round of vaccinations. And found out that without health insurance, his shots were $500. Also found out that with our income, we were not eligible for traditional assistance. I was devastated. I stood in the lobby and I sobbed. In my head, I had just my job to make sure he is safe, taken care of. And in that moment, I couldn't. Thankfully, the woman there who helped us find a way to get him vaccinated, which was a huge weight off my shoulders. We are truly blessed. There are times like the truck or the pump in the well goes, and we have to take out a loan to pay for the repairs. That's when we fall behind, like so many other blue-collar families do. We're proud of the life we have, and for the most part, we get by just fine. Without additional benefits or other assistances, when the bad things happen, we don't have a safety net. We just fall. We always pick ourselves back up, but most of the time we end up with even more bills than we started with. And I'm asking that you consider the struggle of those Alice families like mine who work very hard but are not eligible for traditional assistance. For those of us who would never ask for help, but occasionally could use a hand up. Thank you for your time, for allowing me to share my story.
You did great. Thank you for sharing that. United Way has a lot of different businesses around the state of Michigan, and one of the core businesses is consumer energy. And they critical partner in the Alice report since we started, and it wouldn't happen without their support. And here to a few words.
Fact follow the best. Well, as a company that prides itself on caring we serve, Consumers Energy is proud to associate with United Way and its many member organizations support this research. This is an extension of the decades long we've enjoyed United Way's process. Some may ask why business out the stake in Alice's well-being. All businesses should be concerned. The Alice community. Economic instability among our state's residents impacts all of us. I know Alice, so do you, and especially now we've met her. Alice is that mother struggling with children who I also care for as a parent. As a college student, taking classes during the day and waiting tables by night. Alice is a senior citizen choosing between prescription medication and groceries. The Alice report identifies the scope of issues that many families are facing here in Michigan. They're providing us with data that can shape the decisions to move our communities forward. It's a benefit to policymakers, the business community, and the leaders of our local communities. This report makes it clear that Alice pressure every single day. We know life is unpredictable and situations can change in the blink of an eye. These Alice are one major repair away from a disaster. They work hard, often very, very long hours with little opportunity to get ahead. They make a wage that places them just above the threshold for not enough to move them out of a situation where one setback can set them into chaos. Today's release of the Alice report is one effort among many that we're all doing to make our state stronger. And at the Consumers Energy Foundation, we look forward to continuing to give Michigan cities, towns, and neighborhoods that extra support needed to build communities we're all proud to call home. To serve those Alice residents and those in similar circumstances, we're going to continue to work with the United Way and other Michigan nonprofits to provide grants and mobilize volunteers to strengthen local communities. It's what we do. Invest in what's important in Michigan, our planet, our prosperity in our state, and our most important asset, our residents. You see here today, it's critical that the business community, our state and local legislators band together in support of the United Way and other nonprofits in their efforts to better serve the Alice population in Michigan. Alice, families like Hope's, are a vital part of our community, and Consumers Energy is very proud to be here today to work with all of you to help them be more successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Releasing our third Alice report, the Michigan Association of United Way aims to continue to inform the conversation about the real and present needs of our residents. We remain committed to serving Alice and all those in need through programs that strive to improve the health, education, and financial stability of all Michigan residents. We also call on our state policymakers and business leaders to use what we know about Alice to work toward a Michigan we can all be proud to call home. Members of the media in attendance will receive a hard copy, and if you haven't, we've got them in the back. But if you also, you can go online at www.michiganalice.org and access the report there. I want to open it up just for a few minutes if there's any questions from the media or from the audience. And that's okay if you don't. Yes, Rose. More and more families, especially working families, are using a phone to manage their day, to all the different things that they do. I mean, I don't know how I would be managing a day without a phone. So it's more and more important we start to build the technology into this. Yeah. So if I don't have any questions, there are a number of us that will be accessible. Again, if any of the media wants to talk to local United Way execs in your community, they are here. We want to get them in front of you if possible. Thank you for taking the time to be part of this. And again, this is information that we want to get into our communities. So all I would ask you to share this. Share the story of Alex around the state, because it all starts with awareness. Thanks for being here today. Have a great day.